Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are tackling something that affects literally almost every single professional out there. We're looking at the actual architecture of professional integrity. And we are going right after that standard workplace mindset. You know the one. So often we're told that to get ahead, you've got to play the game. You have to whisper in the right ears, form the right alliances, and basically become this master of office politics. But what if that entirely conventional wisdom is actually just a trap? What if the real secret to climbing higher isn't about maneuvering around your colleagues at all, but about building something so rock solid that the daily drama just bounces right off of it? Well, today we're talking about exactly how to build a reputation that completely outlasts office politics. So I want you to just pause for a second and really ask yourself, what truly builds a lasting career? Think about the people you admire most in your own field. Did they get to where they are because they were the absolute best at gossiping by the water cooler? Or did they get there because they left an undeniable mark of quality? We are constantly pulled into this core conflict at work, right? It's the short-term noise of who's up and who's down versus the long-term legacy of what we actually contribute. The noise is loud, it's super distracting, and it demands our immediate attention. But noise fades. We need to figure out what remains after that noise is completely gone. Okay, let's dive into this. There's a brilliant line from our source text that validates this reality perfectly. Office politics may shape today's conversation. We can't just pretend politics don't exist. They absolutely do. They dictate the mood of the morning meeting, they drive the chatter in the break room, and honestly, they can cause a ton of anxiety. But listen closely to the phrasing here. It shapes today's conversation. It's entirely temporary. It is the weather, not the climate. When you obsess over office politics, you're basically investing all of your energy into a passing storm, which is frankly just a really exhausting distraction from your actual goals. So how do we pivot away from all that anxiety? If we aren't spending our time playing those exhausting games, what exactly should we be doing? Well, we need to focus on your greatest career advantage. There is a strategic, architectural alternative to all that workplace drama. Instead of trying to control the uncontrollable opinions of everyone around you, you shift your entire focus inward. You become the architect of your own professional foundation. You stop playing the game and you start building the house. And luckily for us, the source text gives us the exact blueprint for how to do this. Here is that blueprint broken down into 3 distinct pillars. First step, accurate work. You become the person whose output is reliable, precise, and undeniably good. Second, professional communication. You speak and write with clarity, respect, and purpose, effectively cutting right through all the emotional clutter of the workplace. But the third, and this is absolutely the crucial point here, steady character under pressure. When the deadlines are looming, when the project goes completely sideways, when the political gossip is swirling at its absolute worst, your character doesn't waver. You remain grounded, you don't panic, and you definitely do not compromise your integrity. That steadiness, more than anything else, is what truly separates a professional from an amateur playing political games. Now, we have to be completely honest with ourselves here. Building a foundation on accurate work, professional communication, and a steady character, that is not an overnight hack. It definitely takes longer to construct this kind of reputation than it does to just, agree with the loudest person in the room or take a shortcut to steal some quick credit. But the key to this entire approach boils down to one word: resilience. A reputation built this way is structurally sound. When the company reorganizes or when leadership changes, the people who relied on shortcuts, they're going to scramble. But a structurally sound reputation will hold its ground every single time. Let's move to and see how this builds, because when we compare these 2 paths directly, the contrast is incredibly stark. On one hand, we have temporary perceptions, the fleeting nature of political maneuvering. You might look great today because you aligned with the right faction, but tomorrow, when the winds shift, that perception vanishes. It's basically a house built on sand. On the other hand, we have a resilient reputation. This is the enduring strength of true professionalism. It doesn't rely on who likes you today. It relies on the undeniable fact that you deliver excellence consistently. One path is totally fragile. The other is essentially bulletproof. And this brings us to the fundamental timeline of career success: today versus tomorrow. It is incredibly easy to get trapped in the today. The today is loud. The today is where the immediate stress lives. But if you only ever react to today, you completely sacrifice tomorrow. The strategic professional, the one who truly understands the architecture of integrity, is always willing to endure a little bit of friction today if it means securing their foundation for tomorrow. It really comes down to a choice you make every single morning you walk into your workplace. Office politics shape today's conversation for sure, but professionalism shapes tomorrow's reputation. It is a dramatic, high-stakes choice. Are you going to engage in the shallow chatter just to win the morning? Or are you going to put your head down, do the work, and secure your long-term legacy? It really is that black and white. Professionalism is an investment in your future self. We also need to address a massive misconception right now. A good reputation is not built by defeating colleagues. Listen to me carefully on this. The idea that the workplace is some kind of battlefield where you have to crush your peers to succeed is complete garbage. It is a toxic trap, so skip it entirely. If your strategy relies on making someone else look bad so you can look good, you aren't building a reputation. You're just creating enemies. And enemies have very long memories. It's a completely zero-sum game that ultimately destroys the exact foundation you are trying to build. Instead, let's focus on what actually works. Let's look at the true, grounded blueprint for genuine influence and career longevity. It isn't about defeat at all. It's about earning trust and doing it step by step. When you stop viewing your peers as opponents and start viewing your own actions as the only things you can actually control, your entire career trajectory changes. You become a force of stability. And stability is exactly what organizations reward in the long run. We are completely redefining what it means to succeed here. Earning trust is a cumulative process. It doesn't happen in one big, dramatic, heroic moment. It's built through consistent, quality actions, explicitly rather than competitive wins. It's that day-in, day-out commitment to your craft. When people trust you, they don't just tolerate you. They actively seek you out for the most important work because they know your foundation will not crack under the weight. So how do we actually put this into practice? We do it deliberately, and we do it slowly. Step 1. One decision. Just make the right call, right now, based on facts, not politics. Step 2. One interaction. Treat the person in front of you with genuine professional respect, regardless of whatever office gossip is going around. Step 3. One piece of quality work. Make sure the email, the report, the project you're submitting today is completely accurate. One decision, one interaction, one piece of quality work at a time. Let the gravity of those everyday actions really sink in, because that is how the bricks are laid. That is how the architecture holds together. Which brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with in this explainer. I want you to ask yourself honestly, are your current actions feeding today's politics, or are they building tomorrow's reputation? Every time you open your mouth, every time you hit send, you are making a choice between the temporary noise and your resilient legacy. Choose the architecture of professional integrity. Choose to build something that lasts. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I challenge you to take a really hard look at your very next interaction at work.